Hi everybody and welcome back to my next video. So in this video I'll also be discussing another scary story, what happened to me when I was a child. This happened during the year of 1985, so I'm still living in my parents' home. Now in my previous video I did discuss the layout of my parents' home, and when it was first built it was a 2-bedroom bungalow. At this point, we have extended upstairs. All this is relevant. And the back of the upstairs looks across to the fields across from the main road. Now, it's all a housing estate now. As I've mentioned in so many videos, it was an old mining area, but there's all housing estates everywhere now. And in between the back of my parents' home and the back of the houses on the main road, there's a cul-de-sac, like a dead end, where we can all get access to garages on the back of each other's properties. But there's no access from the main road to this back road. This it is relevant. They have to drive all the way around to our street to gain access to their garages, the residents on the main road, and there's no pathway either. So you'd have to, if you want to walk across to the fields, even though you can directly see it from the bedroom window, you have to walk all the way around. So it's like a U. So there's our road, and there's a shorter road, and then there's the main road, so it goes in a U. And we had a dog. And this one summer's evening, so early evening during this one summer of 1985, I said that I would go and take our dog for a walk. And I knew that my parents would be able to see me once I was on the fields, and they could just stand upstairs and look straight across, and the fields across the road from the houses on the main road. But I still have to walk all the way around. So for a few minutes they wouldn't be able to see me, but once I'd reached the fields, they would be able to see me. So I'm taking my dog for a walk there, and we have fun, and we're playing, and it's really enjoyable walk. However, on my way back, as I'm walking back along the fields back towards the pavement or the sidewalk where the main road is, a strange sensation comes over me. And even though it's early evening, I find it very, very quiet. It seems a little bit too quiet. I can't see anybody washing cars, and I can't see anybody mowing the front lawns. Seriously, at such a young age, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm aware of. I'm aware that there's hardly anyone around. And so, but I carry on walking, and I can see the back of my house, but I've still got to walk part length of the main road, and then up this side road, and then back onto my own road. And I'm walking along, and I am very aware. I'm very aware that I can't see anybody. There's nobody around. There's nobody in the gardens. But then once I'm level with the side road, so once I'm facing the side road, I intend to cross the road. Now I have to be careful on this road. At one point it was what we class as a main road. There's been a bypass built since, but most cars use this main road. And not only that, but I'd also almost got knocked over on that road one morning when I was going to meet my school friend. I ran across that road, and I thought that there was absolutely nothing. I did look left and right, I did, but as soon as I ran across, this car had to brake really hard and his bumper just touched my leg, and I did fall on the grass verge, but I just ran off after that because it just brushed. It just brushed my leg. I think it was more shock than anything. That's why I fell onto the grass verge. So I was always aware, and I've still got like terrible roads when it comes to crossing roads. I'm having to look dozens of times each way because I'm just certain that I'm going to get knocked over. A car's going to hit me. But anyway, so I'm facing this side road, and on the where the pavement is, just before the road, you've got patches of grass verges, and it only breaks up when there's a drop curb to somebody's driveway. And I'm standing right on the edge, and I'm thinking, should I run across now? Should I run across? No, just wait, because it is quite a busy road at this point. And as I'm standing there on the grass verge, a voice speaks to me, and it says, I can remember it word for word, it says to me, watch out for the next car that comes over the brow of the hill. That's word for word. And brow of the hill is not a term I'd use at such a young age. And it said it so close to my ear. So it's watch out for the next car that comes over the brow of the hill. And I turn round. I really expect somebody to be standing next to me. Now, the strange thing about this is I can't decide whether it was a male or a female voice. Perhaps I'd be a little bit more swayed towards a male voice, but it was so close to me. It was a real voice. It was a real voice. It wasn't a voice in my head. It wasn't something I'd imagined. I really heard this voice speak so much that I turned around and expected somebody to be standing right next to me. And there was nobody there. And so I'm startled. I'm really, really startled. Why has that voice just said that to me? And that's all it said. The rest was really left to my imagination as to decode this bit of information that I'd had. And that's why it's so relevant, by the way, that I was aware that nobody was around in the gardens. So I was shocked then to realise that someone was standing next to me. Where did they come from? But obviously, though, when I turned around, there was nobody standing next to me. So I'm taken aback by this voice. Why has that just said that to me? Do I take heed, or do I just ignore it? And there's still cars. It's quite a long road. This main road is quite a long road. It stretches far up to the left, far down to the right. It's a big, long, straight road. And so I'm startled, and I'm standing on the grass verge, and I'm thinking, should I run across now? I'm thinking, no, because you almost got knocked over not long ago. Don't. So what I did do, and I'm panicking at this point because I know that voice was very, very real. And so I'm thinking, what do I do? And I know I've got the dog with me, but it's only small. It's a cross between a Jack Russell and a Cocker Spaniel. And I don't know what to do. Do I run? Or something else? Do I trying to protect myself? And what car? It hasn't told me anything. This voice, that's all it said. It never said anything else. I had to decode it myself. So what I do is I step away from the grass verge and I back up onto the pavement, and then the backs of my legs, my calf muscles then are pressed up so hard. I'm literally pressing my legs up against this dwarf wall, which belongs to the front of this property behind me. And I'm pressing up thinking, I don't know, and I take this warning so seriously. And then I'm looking at the cars, and there's still some cars coming from the left, there's still some cars coming from the right. But I'm really backed up, and I'm just thinking, I just want the road to be clear so I can run across. And for some reason, I focus on my right. And this voice hasn't told me to focus on the right. It hasn't told me to focus on the left. But I'm drawn, my instincts are now drawn to my looking in the direction of my right. And there is a bit of a brow of a hill, not too much. It's just a bump in the road, and it kind of curves. It's very, very long, very straight, but it does bend around right far over to the right. And I'm focusing now my attention on my right hand side, and I see a car coming over the brow of the hill and driving in my direction. Don't feel anything. And then another car follows it, and I don't sense anything from that. But then another car comes over, a third car, and all of a sudden I felt very, very sick inside, very sick, very worried. And I knew that was the car this voice was warning me about, even though it gave no description. It gave no description, and it didn't even say what direction it was going to come from. And I started to get very, very worried. And I'm still pressed up against this wall. My heart's racing really fast. And I'm thinking, please just drive past, please just drive past. But I'm thinking all of this. I mean, at this point, when it first appears, it's probably about half a mile away. That's, I don't know, I'm not very, very good at judging distance, but I'm guessing it's quite far to the right. And I just know it's this car, and it's like a darker blue type colour car. And it's a saloon car, by the way, and it's coming into my direction, and I just know this voice has warned me about that car. And it was just guesswork, it was instinct, but I knew it was that car. So I'm just willing it now to drive past, just drive straight past me so I can run across the road and go home. And even at that point I'm thinking, should I run? But no, don't, because it's so busy. There are other cars on the road. Don't run across the road, otherwise you're going to get killed. Just stay where you are, let that car pass, and then go home. But as this car's driving closer, I notice it's slowing down, and it's losing speed. Now I'm no longer standing on the grass verge. I've backed away from the grass verge and standing as far back as I can against the wall of this property. This car keeps slowing down, and it's slowing down and slowing down. Why is it slowing down? And then as soon as it comes level with me, it stops. This car stops. And I look at it, and I notice it's an older middle-aged man who's driving. And what he does next terrifies me. And had I have been standing on the edge of the grass verge, on the curb, ready to run across that road, and I'd had no warning about this car, I absolutely dread to think what would have happened to me, because he flings his car door open and goes to grab me. But I'd already made some distance. It's not a really wide pavement, not really wide sidewalk, but he goes to grab me, and because he isn't reaching me, he's trying to beckon me to go to his car door. And at that point, I ran into not the property where my legs were up against the wall, my legs were up against, but into the next property. And I start really, really panicking, and I'm praying, I'm praying somebody's in this property, and I run to their porch door, and I'm banging on it for dear life. And I'm like, please help me, please. And I'm really, really crying. And I'm like, please help me, please help me, please help me. And no one's coming to the door. And that car, I can still see that car there. He is that confident that no one will help me. He's staying there. He's staying where he is. And his car door's still open, hoping that I will walk up this drive and he can grab me in his car. But I notice I can hear voices from the bathroom window of this property. Again, that these are other bungalows. And I'm banging on the bathroom window, please, please come out, please help me, please help me. Within a few moments, a man and a woman run out of this property, and as soon as I see them, I collapse on their driveway, and I'm a real sobbing mess, and I can't get my breath. But I'm trying to say to them, that man's tried to get me in his car. He's tried to grab me into his car, and I'm trying to say this I'm trying to catch my breath in between sobs. The male of this property, he runs out and he confronts this man, and he's so angry, and he's like, you know, what you doing, and a lot of curse words. And this man is running around, because he's out, by the way, he's outside of his car. He's got out of his car and he's standing on the pavement. And when the man of this property confronts him, he runs back round. He's like, I just wanted to ask for directions, but he races round to his driver door, and he gets in and he speeds off, and we don't get the registration plate. It all happens so quick. But anyway, the woman of the property, she scoops me up and she's holding me, and she walks me home, and then has the task of explaining to my parents that this man tried to get me into his car. I can honestly say it was a long time before my parents allowed me out of the house on my own again. If the dog had to be taken for a walk, they'd go with me. But I didn't want to go out anyway. I didn't want to go out on my own. I was so fearful of seeing this man again, or anybody trying to grab me into their car. One thing what is so strange is, had I not have heard that voice, had that voice not spoken to me, and it was a real voice. It wasn't a voice in my head. It wasn't a voice from, it didn't sound like it was an angelic voice or anything. It was just an ordinary voice who spoke ordinary words. But I do dread to think what would have happened had I been standing on the edge of that grass verge. And that man would have definitely got me into his car, no doubt about it. But that voice gave me, it allowed me to make a little bit of distance, to get a head start, to get help, and him not grab hold of me. I did see the woman who helped me that day, and one of her relatives actually lived in my street for a while, but she actually also lived in the street in a different property. And I did manage to see her not long ago in our local convenience store. And I was looking at her, and she's probably looking at me, why is she looking at me? And I said, I bet you don't remember me, do you? She was like, no. I was like, I'm the girl you helped. I said, I don't know if you remember all those years ago that a little girl came knocking on your door saying that a man had tried to grab me in his car, and I thanked her so much. I really did thank her so much for helping to save my life. So I hope that you've enjoyed that story. If you do, please hit the like button for me, and if you can, subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to my channel and who is taking the time out of their day to watch my videos. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, like a line going down. If you look closely, there's like a line going down. It looks like it's something in the background. I have tried to get rid of this line before I make this video, but if I lean forward, you can see where's it coming from. My hands breaks it, so you know it's not anything in the background. I don't know what it is. There's where the curtains are here, it's quite dark, so there's no light shining from there. I don't know, it's just some glitch, but it looks pretty strange. I don't think we've got like some kind of wire sticking out of the wall and going into the ground there. It does break up when I touch it. So, but I do hope that you have enjoyed that video. Thank you so much. Don't worry about me not continuing with the ghost stories of my own house, the hauntings of my own house. They will still continue. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video that I make. Thank you.